Hey everyone, welcome to a new video. Today we are going to work with a Masters game. This position we have on the board was played in the game between David Bronstein as white and Efim Geller playing as black in 1961. In this position, white has a very strong move, almost winning the game. But before we continue working and analyzing this position, we are going to see how they got here in this game. So Bronstein as white plays queen's pawn and Geller plays knight f6. Then we have c4 and black plays e6. In the game white plays knight c3, but you need to know that the most popular move in this position nowadays is knight f3. The idea is to avoid Nimzo-Indian defense, it's very strong. So after knight f3 probably black will play something like b6, and then we will be playing a Queen's Indian defense. Also a good defense for black. So after e6 in the game, Bronstein goes with knight c3, and of course black plays here bishop b4, and we have Nimzo-Indian defense, very strong. Usually black gets a balanced game in almost all the variations in Nimzo-Indian. Well, in the game Bronstein goes with a3. The main moves or the main systems in this position are e3, Rubinstein, and also queen c2. This is the classical or also Capablanca's system. But in this position we have a3. And then bishop takes, b takes, black castles, and then f3, and we are in a Simish system. The idea with f3 here is to play e4, and then white will have a very good center there. But of course black is going to try to avoid that, and they will play d5. C takes, e takes, and white continues with development. e3, black also develops, bishop f5. The knight goes to e2, and black plays knight bd7. And Bronstein plays knight f4. I thought he would play here knight d3, getting a tempo with the bishop and ready to continue developing. But actually this knight on f4 has some interesting ideas. He's pointing here d5, and you will see at the end of the game that this knight was really important here. So this is also fine. Black plays c5, and then we continue developing, bishop d3. Well, I need to ask you something in this position. What is the best bishop for white pieces? Okay, the best bishop for white here is this one on f1. Look at the pawns in the center. This one cannot move too much, so it means this bishop is our worst bishop. So in general we are not going to trade our best bishop. In this position, Bronstein exchanges this bishop because actually black bishop is very annoying here in this diagonal. It's in a very good situation, and we don't have any other good place for our bishop, so this bishop on e2 is not really fine. So that's why we need to trade it. But I just wanted to take advantage of this moment to mention what is a good and a bad bishop. Okay, so bishop d3, bishop takes, and queen takes. Black brings the rook to the semi-open file, and of course we need to castle right now. Geller brings the other rook to this file, which is very likely to be open soon, and then we just play rook b1, bringing the rook to a better square and also creating some threats over the b file. In this position, Geller plays probably a bad move, queen a5. This is dubious. The best move in this position was knight b6, with some interesting ideas, because we are avoiding the capture on b7, but also in some point we could bring the knight to c4. This square is very nice for the knight. Remember that white doesn't have light squares bishop. It means that the knight on c4 won't be easy to remove. So knight b6 was probably the best. In the game, Geller just plays queen a5. He sacrifices the pawn, but he has some ideas, because after rook takes pawn, that's what Bronstein plays, he can play now knight b6 with the same ideas of the knight coming over c4, but also with some ideas with the rook trapped over there. Notice that in some point he can play some c4 and queen a6, and the rook doesn't have some square to go, some safe square to go, and also white won't have a way to protect the rook. So those are the ideas with this knight b6. And this is another important moment of this game. I encourage you to try to find the move Bronstein played here. Okay, the move white plays in this position is this g4. It has some ideas, but probably the main idea is to avoid the c4 and queen a6, because if black plays c4 now, then white just plays queen f5, and after queen a6, then we have this tactic idea. Rook takes, and after black takes either with queen or pawn, then white can play g5, and look at the knight. The knight cannot go anywhere. It means black is going to lose this knight, and white will have two minor pieces for the rook. That's very good for them, and probably also some pawn. So after g4, black plays here h6, stopping this move. But then white plays h4, and then they are threatening again this kind of moves. Something we need to analyze is what happens now after c4, because after h6 this square is cleared for the knight. So at the end of the variation, it won't be like previously that the knight will be lost. Now the knight can go there. So after c4, this time white can just play queen c2, and after black threatens the rook, white needs to give the exchange, rook takes, queen takes, and then g5. The idea is to get this pawn here on d5. So there is a trade, and then the knight goes back, and then knight takes d5. After queen here, we can play e4, and in this position white has a knight, or well, a bishop and two pawns against a rook, and that's usually a very good compensation. So probably this position is slightly better for white. Of course, white is not won here, there is a long game ahead, but white is fine in this position. So after h4, that's the idea again. In some way they are preventing this c4, and Geller plays here c takes. Usually that's fine. If your opponent advances the pawn, the castling pawns, well, maybe it's a good idea to try to open a little the center, so we will have some lines for our pieces to get access to the king. So that's like a good concept. If your opponent advances the pawns in the castling, try to open the position and open lines, so it will be easier for you to get the other king. So c takes d4, and white continues here with the initiative. They play g5, attacking black knight here on f6. D takes e3 is the move we have in this game. They are sacrificing this knight, but there is a good idea because now they have a pawn at 6th rank, and also they are getting the pawn on c3 with the rook. So it seems like Geller thought he could have a good compensation here in this position. So Bronstein accepts the knight, and the rook takes c3, and this is the position we had at the beginning of the video. As I said, white plays, white wins. Try to find the move David Bronstein played in this position. Okay, the move he plays is winning in 3 moves. It's a fantastic queen sacrifice. I'm talking about queen g6. It's threatening checkmate here on g7. There's no way to stop that. So the only move for black will be f takes g6. But then we can just play rook takes g7, and this is made in the next move. After either king here or here, we will take the pawn on g6, and this will be checkmate. So king here, and then knight g6, checkmate. And I don't want to finish the video without showing a comment from a member of our community. His username is Wakey, and he wrote this in the post for the last video, and he said, "With all due respect, we cannot be friends to Her Majesty Kaisa. Kaisa's subordinates, slaves, addicts." Usually I start some post writing something like, "Hello Kaisa's friends," and he's suggesting that that's not fine, because we are not Kaisa's friends. We are addicts, subordinates, or slaves. As she's a goddess, then that's the way we should talk about her. Just in case, Kaisa is the goddess of chess. And he continues, "And don't forget to pray before the match and to ask for forgiveness if you lose or you don't solve these puzzles. Thank you very much." So he's suggesting that every time we're going to play a match, we need to pray before we play that match, to pray to Kaisa. And also, if we fail solving a puzzle, then we need to ask for forgiveness. So, if you fail, he's saying that if you fail trying to solve a puzzle, then you need to pray to Kaisa and ask Kaisa for forgiveness because you were not able to solve the puzzle. Okay, well, so this is the video I wanted to show you today. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you think it was good, give me likes so I can know it, and I will try to prepare more Masters games like this one. So that's it. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and also don't forget to pray to Kaisa if you were not able to find Queen G6 in this miniature. So that's it. Thank you for watching. See you in the next.